ask where we're going, guys? Goree Island.
Our ferry doesn't leave until 30 minutes.
I really like these.
These are for Emma.
There's a
Kilometers large, but also the island is with two parts different, high part and low part. 27 hectares hold the island from the bottom to the top. And 1,800 people live here now permanently. Muslims, Christians, but they all live here as they're just like brothers or sisters, but from different mothers. And with three different stories. The main story of this island is slave trade, Colonial, Second World War. And also this place was one of the places where some European countries were fighting each other for many times and many years. Right before the slave trade was started all over the West African coast. The first trade who was going on the West African coast before the slave trade was Arabic gum, leather. The reason why they used to fight to have this little place, because it was so easier to protect trade over here. The first Europeans who set foot on this island was Portuguese in 1444. At that time, it was only some local people who used to fishing around the island. But no one of them used to live here, but some of them only used to come here to just have a break. That's why they used to call this island Beer Island, B-W-E-R. And the meaning of that beer was only some small trees. And those trees was just local trees, and they used to call them beer. And that's why the name was a Beer Island. But the name was changed in 1444 by the Portuguese. Because Portuguese was the first Europeans who set foot on this island in 1444. And the name was given by the Portuguese was Isla de la Palma, Palma Island. Portuguese built the first building. Right there is a place, there is a small red building on the left side saying police. And that was the first building built on the island in 1482. But now is the police station because it was a chapel back in the days. After Portuguese Dutch in 1588, also the Dutch changed the name of the island again to Good Rates. That means good harbor. After Dutch French in 1677, but the French were here same time with England. That's why each of those two countries will occupy this island few times. But in 1802, there was peace between those two countries. From 1804 to 1817, England was occupying the island, but now this island is World Heritage Site protected by UNESCO. That's why no one is allowed to build any new houses. Most of the houses were built from 15th, 16th, 17th centuries, but many of them they will renovate them. Inside they can do whatever they want to do in there. Outside, they have to keep them at the same agriculture. Same colors, the colors have to be pink, yellow, red, and white. Or they can come also with the natural rocks. And also this small place was the most important slave trade in Central West Africa. Why? Because of two reasons. First reason, because of the position of the island is geographic. Because the Senegal coast is so close to the American coast. Second reason is the island. It was so easier to protect slaves from here because they were bring those slaves from all over the West African coast and they were holding them over here. That's why in this small island, 3 centuries and 12 years slave trade was suffered over here. But during those 3 centuries and 12 years, there was a 20 million slaves transit from all over the West African coast to this island, but also 6 million died by mistreatment and deprivation. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. And now please, like I told you, get the way. They were fasting with white beans mixed with some palm oil. But right before they shipped them, they used to weigh them again. But if someone was always less than 60 kilos, they only was using them inside the container, like I told you, inside the houses. That's why they were called them domestic slaves. Please guys, let's go. Come on guys, please. Young girl cells, kid cells, and you guys will have time to go back, to go inside those cells. And guys, there's two small cells under their steps. And also it says recalcitrant. If it doesn't make any sense to you, those cells were reserved for the troublemakers, rebellions. It was a punishment cell. But inside there, the masters were not caring how many people can fit in there, because all they wanted was how to be able to close that gate with behind those slaves. But with that first one, in 1991, it was when Nelson Mandela was visiting this island. And Nelson Mandela was forcing himself to go inside that cell to see how that cell was look like. But when Nelson Mandela was coming back inside that cell, he was crying, but it was making sense because it was only reminding him when he was in jail for 27 years. The next one have little bit differences between the first one. The differences between those two cells, because the next one there have two windows, and those two windows was made there after the slave trade, after when slavery was ended at the French side. I mean the last abolition of the slave trade in 1848. Because in English colonization, it was so earlier. Because the Haitians was the first black who revolute in 1802. After the revolution of the Haitian, all the English sides, slave trade was stopped over there, but French was still going until 1848. Straight there, there is another one, they say recalcitrant, but it's the biggest one. That one used to hold more people in there. The next cell on the left is say women, ladies. The ones who were more cheaper, they were 4 times cheaper to the others one. Because they was using the men for plantation. The reason why young girls were 4 times expensive to a woman, because they was using the young girls also to reproductors. Because they used to breed those young girls with some strongest men to make more babies. I mean, they were making more product. That's why they were selling the young girls 4 times expensive. The women, the reason why they used to be 4 times cheaper is because they was only useless. They was using the women inside the houses for the housekeepers. The kids, they were selling them for 2 reasons. First reason, also at the plantation, that was a kid's work. Some kids, people used to buy them to use them on the plantation. Also, some people used to buy some kids also to raise them. But like I told you, sometimes one family can be at the same time, but separate different cells, but also they can sell whole the family in different places. Excuse me.
Oh my God. The door of no return, y'all.
Guys, come on guys, and make sure you use the both wall, guys. Stand on both walls. Guys, step on sides, guys. Step on left and right side, please. Step on left and right side, guys. Alright guys, please put your attention while we're waiting, because it's raining, and also we just inside an amazing gallery where this guy is working with a sand. But all the sand you see around the table is a natural sand, but also from different places. But most of the sand also come from inside this country. But there is also a few of the sands from other places, but he will explain to you more about it. But also to just give you an idea how this art was made, and the guy will give you also a demonstration on the side, and you guys can shoot some videos, or you guys can take a picture while he's doing that.
Voilà, merci monsieur le guide. Voilà, soyez les bienvenus.
Welcome.
Voilà, comme vous voyez ici, on a bien collecté jusqu'à 24 couleurs de sable, ni teintes ni colorées.
And like you see, it's 24 colors, but they're all natural without coloring.
Voilà, pour commencer, ça qui vient de Sali, prendre de Sali, filmer, photographier.
And to beginning, you have the white sand come from a Sally beach, and you can shoot videos or you can take a picture.
Voilà, ça qui vient de Dune du Niayes, c'est vers la Croze.
And that one come from the dunes of Nyai on the way to the Pink Lake.
Voilà, le sable marron qui vient du Termitière, c'est vers Niger, Burkina, comme ça aussi.
And the brown sand is come from the Terma Mar House from Niger, Burkina Faso, South Sudan, I mean like red line countries.
Voilà le sable vert qui vient du mangrove de Portuguese, c'est vers Gambie.
And the great that great sand come from a place called Senegal Island, but it's from the mangrove tree on the way to Gambia.
Voilà le sable gris qui vient du Cap Skirring Casamance, sud du pays.
The great one come from the south of part in Senegal, but the southwest in Senegal, a place called Subscreen Beach.
Voilà le sable marron foncé qui vient du Ténéré, Mauritanie.
The brown sand come from the Mauritania, Tenerife Desert.
Voilà le sable rose qui vient du lac Rose.
The pink one come from the Pink Lake, the dunes of Pink Lake.
Voilà pour terminer le sable noir qui vient du Mamel. Mamel c'est vers le monument de Renaissance.
And the black one is come from the Mamels, close to by to the Renaissance monument.
Voilà, maintenant c'est parti. Ici c'est complètement la pendir. On commence toujours la partie plus foncée, après on termine plus clair.
Okay, and it will be opposite with normal painting because it will be from the darkest to the lightest, the colors.
Wait. Video. Wait.